Hello everyone, welcome to Barca News. It is August 6, 2023, and Ousmane Dembele is officially back in the city of Barcelona as he was seen today training with the first team. Also, it's reported that PSG are preparing an offer to sign Ansu Fati. And finally, a Serie A team is now interested in signing the French defender, Lenglet. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo, and before we begin with the news, just a quick reminder to make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. It goes a long way in helping this small channel continue to grow. Also, if you are looking for any Barcelona jerseys or merchandise, make sure you hit the kit bag. The link is down below in the description. Now, begin with the news that Barcelona are still negotiating, activating that economic lever that will see the sale of 16% of Barca Studios for around 65 million euros. And it's reported that the club are transmitting total confidence that this economic lever will be activated, which then will help Barcelona register all the players that they still have to register during this summer transfer market. Now, a lot of you have asked me questions whether Barcelona are on track in registering players. And as of now, Barcelona have only registered 13 players with La Liga, with 2 of them being Franck Kessie and Ousmane Dembele, who will be leaving the club during this summer transfer market, with Franck Kessie joining Al Ahly in Saudi Arabia, and of course Dembele joining PSG. So technically speaking, Barcelona only have 11 players registered with La Liga, with 10 or 11 more players pending registration. However, Barcelona are reporting that they are confident that they will be able to register the contracts of all these players before the beginning of La Liga, which is set to begin in exactly 1 week on next Sunday, August the 13th, where Barcelona are set to face off against Getafe. Now, there's been a lot of talk in the media about those 60 million euros that Barcelona have yet to receive from the sale of Barca Studios, and I've been getting a lot of questions about that. So I would like to clarify that Barcelona sold 49% of Barca Studios to 2 companies last summer, which are Socios.com and Orpheus Media, with each company receiving 24.5% of Barca Studios, and in exchange agreeing to pay 100 million euros each. Now, the way that this deal was negotiated was for each company to pay an initial 10 million euros each, with then 3 payments of 30 million euros each later on. And the first installment of these payments was due June of this summer, which each of these companies supposed to pay 30 million euros to Barcelona, so a total of 60 million euros from both companies. However, both companies have failed to make these payments, so Barcelona have not received a total of 60 million euros from the activation of this economic lever that happened last summer transfer market. Now, this is not a surprise for Barcelona. Both companies requested permission from Barcelona to more time to pay those 60 million euros, and Barcelona approved this extension of payment. And also, this was included in the viability plan that Barcelona presented to La Liga. So La Liga also knows that Barcelona have approved this extension. So this is no surprise. This is not like the companies failing to pay or that Barcelona was not aware of it or was not foreseeing it. Everything was agreed to, and in fact, both companies have agreed to pay their 30 million euros each by the end of this year. Now, what does this mean? It means that Barcelona will not be able to count on these 60 million euros during this summer to register the contracts of the players. But of course, the club are negotiating the sale of 16% of Barca Studios to a German investment fund, or as it's rumored that it's a German investment fund. And Barcelona are currently negotiating the sale of Barca Studios, and it's expected that these negotiations will conclude pretty soon in the upcoming days. And once Barcelona receive that money, those 65 million euros for the sale of 16% of Barca Studios, then Barcelona will be able to register all the players that are pending, and the club are transmitting total confidence that this will be able to be completed before the beginning of La Liga season. Now, on to the news that Xavi Hernandez has spoken to Jules Koundé about playing in the right back position, and it seems that the French defender has agreed to cover in that position in case Barcelona cannot reinforce the right back position. Now, as you might recall, Jules Koundé played in the right back position during several matches last season since Barcelona don't have a specialist in that position. And there were some rumors that Jules Koundé was looking to leave the club at the beginning of the summer because he was tired of playing in the right back position. However, the player denied those rumors through social media account. And today it's being reported that Xavi Hernandez has spoken with Jules Koundé and clarified to him that Barcelona are looking for someone in the market to reinforce the right back position, that's the plan for the club, that's the desire for the club. However, that if Barcelona cannot sign anyone during the summer transfer market, that Xavi Hernandez would like to have Jules Koundé cover that position every now and then. And it seems that the French defender has agreed to this and has told Xavi Hernandez that yes, he of course prefers to play in a center back position. However, that he is willing to cover the right back position whenever is needed. Now, it's also reported that Ronald Araujo has actually volunteered himself to Xavi Hernandez and the club that if they need him to play in the right back position, that he's more than willing to do so because he's willing to do anything for the club. So between Jules Koundé and Ronald Araujo, that position is covered in case if Barcelona cannot sign anyone in the summer transfer market. Now, I would like to emphasize that because I know a lot of you always tell me in the comments that Barcelona need to sign someone in the right back position. And yes, that's exactly how Xavi Hernandez and the club think. They know they need to sign someone. They want to sign someone. That's the plan, is to sign someone for the right back position. But in case Barcelona cannot sign anyone, then we have Ronald Araujo and Jules Koundé who can cover that position during this upcoming season. Now on to the news that Ousmane Dembele was seen today in the city of Barcelona where he trained with the first team. Now Dembele had left to Paris in order to finalize his transfer to PSG, and it was expected that Dembele was not going to be coming back to the club. But to everyone's surprise, Dembele was seen returning to the city of Barcelona today, where he was later on seen training with the first team. Now, the reason that Dembele is back in the city of Barcelona is because the club have yet to finalize the transfer of the French player to PSG. And that's because there's still a fight about how the 50 million euro release clause will be split between Barcelona and Dembele. Now, as you might recall, I reported about this several videos ago, but Dembele had a release clause that was worth 50 million euros that if it was activated before July 31st, Dembele would get 25 million euros, with Barcelona getting the other 25 million euros. However, the deadline expired and the release clause went up to 100 million euros. However, Dembele was able to activate a separate release clause, a private clause in his contract that would allow him to leave the club for 50 million euros. Now, there's currently a fight about how these 50 million euros will be split, with Dembele insisting that he should get half of that release clause. However, Barcelona insisting that that should not be the case because this private clause was activated after July 31st. So since there's currently a fight about how this release clause will be split, Barcelona have yet to finalize the transfer of the French player to PSG. And as such, Dembele is technically still a Barcelona player. And since today, the entire first team came back from those 3 days off that they had after resuming the USA preseason tour, that Dembele, as a Barcelona player, was also required to return to Barcelona in order to train with the first team under the obligations of his contract. Now, I'm really glad that Barcelona are putting their foot down and they're not bending backwards for Dembele like they have done many times before. And Barcelona reportedly will take their time as long as needed until they finalize the negotiations of the split of this 50 million euros. So I'm glad that Barcelona are doing this. But at the same time, I am a little bit worried because Dembele, after all, is very injury prone. He's made of glass, so I would be scared that Dembele could end up getting injured during training and this whole deal falls through. But hopefully that does not happen, and we can hopefully see a happy ending to this saga that seems to be dragging on. Now, speaking of PSG, it's reported that the Parisian club are now preparing an offer for the signing of Ansu Fati. Now, it seems that Luis Enrique would like to have Ansu Fati on his team, and since Ansu Fati is not guaranteed minutes this upcoming season, that Luis Enrique believes that Ansu Fati joining PSG will be best for all parties, with Ansu Fati getting more playing time in the Parisian side, and of course Luis Enrique benefiting from the skills of Ansu Fati. And therefore PSG are reportedly preparing an offer for Barcelona for the signing of Ansu Fati, who does have a 1 billion euro release clause. Now, as I reported many times before, Ansu Fati has no plans of leaving Barcelona. He wants to stay in the club, and he has reiterated that over and over again in this past summer. And it's also reported that the coaches at Barcelona believe that if Ansu Fati continues progressing at the same pace that he's currently progressing, that he can become important in the first team during this upcoming season. So it doesn't seem that Ansu Fati will be leaving PSG, but of course the club have yet to receive the offer from the Parisian side, where it is reported that if it's a big offer, that Barcelona would be forced to analyze it and to consider it. Now, this doesn't mean that Barcelona would sell Ansu Fati. This just means that if Barcelona receive a big offer, a big monetary offer for Ansu Fati, they will be obligated to consider it given the difficult financial situation of the club. Now, we will end today's video with the news that the Serie A club Napoli are now considering signing Lenglet. Now, Napoli are looking in the market for a center back during this summer transfer market because their defender Kim Min-jae just left to Bayern Munich, and also their target Kevin Danso just re-signed with Lens, and therefore they have now turned their sights to Lenglet. But of course, the big problem is the 50 million euros that Barcelona are currently asking for the French defender. Now, Lenglet is insisting that he wants to go to Tottenham Hotspurs, where he has a personal agreement with the Premier League club, but Tottenham Hotspurs are yet to meet that 50 million euro request that Barcelona have asked for the French defender. And the only club so far that have offered the 50 million euros for Lenglet is the Saudi club Al Nassr. But of course, Lenglet has no plans of going to Saudi Arabia, with him insisting that he wants to remain to compete in the European continent. So for now, we're going to have to see whether Napoli make a good offer for Lenglet to Barcelona, because of course Barcelona are not counting on the French defender and would like to offload him as soon as possible. So that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a like. Also, I would like to invite all of you to please leave a comment down below, giving me all your thoughts and opinions about all the news that I share with you. And finally, I would like to invite all of you to please subscribe to the channel so you can stay current on all of these news in regards to our beloved club, FC Barcelona. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. And as always, Visca Barça.